I get up at 3 a.m. every weekday to work out on the beach. This morning, I couldn't. I had to stop, sit, and witness a miracle. My 6'4" fiance is the little spoon every night. 57-year-old uncle is marrying a 19-year-old. My aunt passed away from COVID a year ago. My Uncle Joe is going back to the Middle East to get married to a 19-year-old. I feel disgusted. His kids, my cousins, are in their early 30s. I'm in my late 30s. Joe has grandkids. I only heard about it while he asked his sister, my mom, for advice. Joe has not told his kids yet. Every time I see him, I'm disgusted. I don't know if I should tell his kids or not. My mom and dad say he needs a partner. If he wanted to get married, he can. On the other hand, the 19-year-old is clearly looking to get a better life here in the US, and I don't blame her for any of this. I just imagine if the tables were turned and he had died, would my aunt marry a 19-year-old? No, because there is a double standard at play here. I mean, we obviously don't know what your aunt would do, but I doubt a 19-year-old would be the first thought. Clearly, OP has never seen 90 Day Fiance. Oh God, I mean, it would be hilarious if you did find out your uncle was actually just on the show 90 Day Fiance after this. I've seen that a lot with widowers, my dad included. They cannot be alone. When my grandpa died, my grandma refused to even date. Not because she was so heartbroken by the loss, they actually had a difficult marriage, but because she said older men only want a nurse or a purse, and she wasn't going to be either of those things. She had just gotten some independence and autonomy back after 50 years of marriage and played nurse for the last few years of it, and she was not going to get back in the grind of caring for an old man who couldn't live alone. The timeline and her desire to live in the US is going to make this marriage a disaster. If you're up for it, strike up a friendship with her. Help her create a network of friends here in the US and help her build a solid foundation. When crap hits the fan, she'll be in better position to leave the marriage comfortable. That's really creepy. I feel like on the topic of problematic age gaps, I do think 50 and 19 is pretty yikes. Every time I cook dinner, I get a strong urge to leave my partner and move into a small apartment in the city. He always has some kind of complaint about the food, and I have to consider his picky tastes. It makes me want to move into a little apartment in a brick building and take my cat with me and cook whatever the F I want and decorate how I want and watch my stupid reality TV shows without him whining about it. I could have plants and tea lights and all that stupid basic stuff. Most of the time I'm totally fine, but I do enjoy my cooking daydreams. One time my ex-husband complained about the food I fixed and said, "I can't eat this. I'm going to McDonald's." Our children stood up and all of them left the table to go eat. I was left with cleaning up. I had made chicken, potatoes, green beans, and salad, and hot bread. Nothing was burned or ruined. I really got my feelings hurt. I mean, you can't blame the kids because of course they want McDonald's over a home-cooked meal. If I had someone cooking all of my meals, I'd be grateful AF. I had a partner like that. I left. Me too. Never again. Please come back. I'm very hungry. Sorry, Rim Greeper. You fumbled it. I don't know what else to say. I just cried in a stranger's arms. So it's been a very rough time for me lately. A lot has happened and I'm struggling very bad right now. Today I drove out to Sonic. There's none near me, closest one being an hour. I wanted to treat myself since I've only had it once before a couple years back, and also because, well, it's been rough lately. They messed up my order and didn't secure the lid on my shake. As I get onto the highway to go back home, the milkshake spills all over me and my car, but I couldn't do anything because I was on the highway. So I cried and drove back. I get to my boyfriend's house, not in my town, visiting for weekend, and I just opened my passenger door to clean it all and just started sobbing. A random lady yelled at me, "Hey honey, come here." Now it's 81 degrees at this point, and in her bare feet she walks on the road to get to me. She hugged me and told me to let it out, so I did. I told her how it's been hard lately and I broke my phone today, and I was so excited for the Sonic and now what had happened. She invited me inside. Her husband made me a milkshake and she and her 2 daughters helped me clean my car. She told me if I ever need a mom, to come a couple houses down and she'll be there. Honestly, she and her entire family showed me pure generosity and kindness, and I've hardly experienced that in my life. She let me keep wipes and scent remover for my car. I feel okay now, just gotta wipe off my running mascara. Thank you, neighbor lady. I'm bringing you flowers next time I visit here. Now that is what humanity is all about. I'm sorry you're having such a hard time. This inspires me to be more like that nice neighbor lady. Aww. so nice of her and her family. There are great people out there. I didn't come from a happy family, and it's hard out here, especially now. Hang in there, OP. We're going to make it. So, how was his milkshake? Hang in there. It was vanilla and it was delicious. That's nice. Sometimes I think about the people I saw crying, but I didn't help them because I was afraid of their reaction. They might say to me, for example, "None of your business," or "Go away," and sometimes I'm afraid I don't deserve to help them because I'm not good at it. But I had a similar situation in the past. You can never forget these people even though you don't know them. My best friend died last week and I can't tell my wife because she'll dial her nagging up to 11. When my dad died, my wife shrieked at me the next day about how I didn't do the dishes well enough. "You're 34 years old. How the hell can you not know how to wash the dishes?" When my coworker and mentor died, my wife shrieked at me that night about a facial expression I made. Apparently I looked annoyed. "Well, I'm so sorry that I'm asking you to take out the garbage." My best friend died last week and I have not told my wife. For some reason beyond my understanding, her typical high conflict personality goes into overdrive whenever I have reason to be sad, hurt, or upset. When personal tragedy strikes, she makes it about herself first and foremost, and then lashes out at me because on some visceral level, she realizes I'm at my most vulnerable. It's blood in the water for her. No idea what it is. No idea why she picks these times to immediately turn into the most horrible person she can be. But when I heard of my best friend's death, one of the first things I thought was, I'll have to hide how sad I am from my wife. That is just probably the worst situation I've heard. I really hope you're out of that. Dude, your marriage sounds miserable. I don't even think miserable's good enough to explain it. I feel sad that you're in this position, OP. I'm sorry that you lost your best friend. That's a terrible tragedy. I'm also sorry that you have nobody to support you at home. That you actually need to hide your pain because you'll be flogged for feeling it. Hugs from a random internet person. So surprised to see all these awards. Love the encouragement. Thank you. Oh, shut the fuck up. Honestly, it sounds like she looks for reasons to refocus the attention on her whenever something big happens to you. It's bordering on narcissism and it's not okay. Reading this and wondering how she's still your wife, TBH. Yeah, honestly, after she treated you like that when your dad passed away, that would have been the sign to tell her to kick rocks. If you feel like you can't tell your partner that your best friend died, maybe that person shouldn't be your partner. Mate, I'm really sorry for your loss. It's tough losing a friend. Cousin's gift ruined Christmas and possibly my relationship. I come from a big family. Our holidays involve extended family like second cousins, etc. My fiance and I are in our mid-20s and there are a lot of cousins in their 20s and 30s. Last night we had our big Christmas party. It was fun to see everyone until it was time to exchange presents. My cousin Anna, not her real name, hands out pink envelopes to all the 20s and 30s men who have married/dated into the family. My fiance received one and quickly put it in his pocket after opening it. I was distracted opening my gifts and didn't ask to look at it. After 20 minutes later, my cousin Rachel, again, not a real name, pulls me aside and says Anna is giving out cards with instructions on how to get a discount subscription to her OnlyFans. Rachel's boyfriend got one of the pink cards and showed Rachel because he was weirded out. I'm pissed at this point because I suspect my fiance's card also has an OnlyFans discount, so I asked to talk with him and he denies getting a card from Anna. I tell him, I saw her hand you one and I watched you put it in your pocket. I go to grab his pocket and he suddenly remembers getting a card but claims he didn't open it. I take it from him and of course it's already opened and of course it's about effing OnlyFans. I go back inside to confront Anna and find her already arguing with a different cousin who is upset because her husband has already tried looking at Anna's page. Anna claims she's just trying to get her business off the ground and no one appreciates all the hard work and skills it takes to be successful in a digital career. She says her gift is not sexual, it's just marketing. Some of the older relatives, aunts and uncles, are starting to take sides too, but they're mostly really confused about what's going on. Anna's mom started crying because of something I said, and my mom tried to get me to apologize, which pissed me off more. At this point, I leave with my brother and his husband because I don't want to spend the night with my fiance at home, and I don't feel like going with parents when my mom is pressuring me to apologize. Oh, and surprise, surprise, Anna didn't give my brother's husband a card, so make of that what you will about the intent behind her gift. I'm seriously considering calling off the engagement over this, and I'm pissed at my cousin for ruining both Christmas and my relationship. I mean, like, I get needing to do marketing, but not to your family. Rachel's boyfriend is the true hero here. This is the Reddit version of "'Twas the night before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house. The silence was broken by clicks of the mouse. The page was up on the family living room TV. It was our beloved cousin and her large titties. Come Dancer, come Prancer, come Donner and Blitzen. All the male relatives were eyeing the OnlyFans vixen. The gift may have been a tad bit uncouth, but so was blasting the ASMR audio through Alexa's Bluetooth. Let us remember in good kindness and cheer not to invite cousin Anna to Christmas next year. That's actually so moving. Rachel's boyfriend is the absolute legend here. She needed a backhanded slap and to be kicked out of the Xmas party. Your cousin whose significant other showed her the card is a real keeper. Your significant other, not so much. Also, family that's backing the OnlyFans cousin are beyond help. They might be too old to understand what OF is. To older people who don't use the internet, digital marketing means little to them. I wouldn't write them all off. Stop giving your kids weird names. I have a unique first name that was made up by hippie parents. They literally made it up. They thought they were being original and new age, but they only made my life unnecessarily complicated. From the time I was old enough to say my name, I got weird looks and was embarrassed and shy when people laughed at my name. There was no good explanation either. They just thought it sounded cool. Every time I meet someone new, I have to have the same conversation and it's exhausting. Yes, it's a unique name. No, I don't know what it means. I'm glad you like it, but you only say that because you have a normal one. When I go to a restaurant or coffee shop, I give a made-up normal name to avoid the song and dance. So before you pat yourself on the back for that cute name you invented, just remember little Chinchilla, Uniqua, or Papillon will be an adult someday and have to live with it. Edit, removed a fairly normal name from the example. Edit 2, not giving my name because a Google image search literally pulls up my photo. I know parents who thought it would be a good idea to name their child after their favorite video game character. I forgot the name, but it sounds like he's Gandalf's long-lost brother. Please don't tell me it's Ganondorf. Oh my god, oh no, somebody named no! LMFAO, please tell me your name is Flagstaff. I wish, actually. It would be better. I don't want to put my name on here because I'm literally the only one in the world, so the Reddit sleuths will have no trouble finding me. Yeah, it is probably for the best you don't dox yourself. This reminds me of those multiple parents that named their babies Khaleesi. I bet that got even better after season 8. Just stick with the normal ones, I think. It's generally a safer option. Just go with a Steve, a John, a Brian. People name their children without the concept that they are naming adults. Anyone explained they aren't puppies yet? I have always thought that was strange for some parents to not really see the child as a person. It's more so property like a pet or an animal. When I was living in Taiwan, I've met people with names like Circle, Yellow, Happy, and Cute. Working in China, I taught kids named Hamburger and Robot. The first time I thought he said Robert, but he said, no, Robot. You know, like, and then did a little robot dance. Hamburger? Hamburger? Sorry, that's so unfortunate but so funny. I saw an article about a woman who named her child Any idea what that name is? Caitlin. K-V-I-I-I equals 8, Lynn. Creative, but cruel. People who try to do like smart math names, no, you're just a big nerd and you've ruined that child's life. Yes, my best friend's mom with a history of mental illness named her when her husband was out of the room at the hospital. She forged her husband a name on the birth certificate. My friend's name on the birth certificate is a fruity tropical drink that a lot of people love. She is a magical, amazing person and she fits her name, but she hates how she got it and sometimes at Starbucks, she goes by the name Susan on her drinks. Daiquiri. I mean, that's not a terrible name if daiquiri is their name. I really don't understand how people can seriously think they're this much of the main character. I was coming back into the office building after going out for a late lunch and I pressed the level of my floor. Some girl gets in right after me, so I go, "What floor?" She looks at me for no longer than a second, rolls her eyes, lets out the slightest scoff, presses the level of her floor, and immediately goes in the corner of the elevator and pulls out her phone as an obvious attempt to set up a social barrier. Like, I wasn't f***ing hitting on you. Trust me, asking what floor is nothing special. Whoa, got a little aggressive at the end there, but I guess I kinda get it. Bus driver here. Once I was going to get a haircut on my free day. However, the hair salon is right next to the bus station, so I thought I would just go over and greet my fellow work colleagues. However, when I went there, one of the bus drivers wasn't checked in for some unknown reason, and there was no available bus driver around as they all had a bus already. So I said I can drive it while they find a new man for it. The bus was already 20 minutes behind schedule, and if it reaches over 30 minutes, it will get canceled. So I started to drive to make sure people could get home. When I picked up people from the different bus stops, nearly all of them had some rude comments toward me. "You late. Young people don't care about uniforms those days," etc. And I just thought to myself, so much for helping others. And I missed my appointment with the hair salon. I'll just never understand where people get off like complaining or just being rude to the person who is helping you get where you need to go. I was at the mall a few years back and saw a girl walk out of the bathroom with her skirt tucked into her pantyhose in the back. Thank God she had underwear on, but I go, "Excuse me, miss?" And she turns around and gave me the evilest look and says, "What do you want?" in the nastiest way possible. I said, "Well, F you then," and watched everyone stare at her. Not a single person in earshot of that conversation said a word to her. Now that is some good karma, I think. I was out at the mall with my girlfriend at the time, and we wanted a picture, so I flagged down a random younger girl since it looked like she'd know how to take a good picture on a phone. She immediately puts her hand up in disgust, laughing and shaking her head. She says, "No thanks, I'm not interested." She didn't even listen to a word of the question I asked. I was dumbfounded. I said, "Me neither, we just wanted a picture," and pointed to my girlfriend. I've never seen someone die inside so quickly. That's when you press all the elevator buttons up to her floor. They do have a point. I mean, that would have shown her. Please leave us alone in video games. Sincerely, a woman who just wants to use voice chat freely. I'm so sick and tired of how so many people feel like it's okay to be creepy or just plain rude to women in video games based on our gender alone. It feels like every game I play, I have to judge the situation and try to figure out if the people in my game are going to be weird or sexist towards me if I use comms and identify myself as a woman because of my voice. Text chat isn't fast enough for split-second calls. Communication is so important in games, and I'm just trying to help the team by using comms. Instead, it just seems to provide people with the opportunity to make a sweeping generalization of my skill at a game and conclude that I'm unskilled based on something I literally can't control. Or simply be creepy and flirty, which is often worse. Just treat us like any other player. It will benefit everyone involved. Thank you. As a resident Valorant player, yeah, I'm so sorry to every woman out there. Like, I don't know why people are like that. They just are. Disgusting humans. This, indeed. Also, maybe also when women/girls have girly names. Just thirsty gamers around them. You really a girl? Dude, I'm just slaying chickens to sell the eggs, meat, and feathers. Leave me be. I agree. Not a woman, but I've always avoided voice chat in any game just because I feel far too nervous, and yeah, people my age will make fun of women for being women, which is stupid. A couple years back in ARC, I came across someone and they gifted me stuff and offered to build a base with me. We did, and I got invited to a party, only to realize I was speaking to a 50-plus-year-old mother. Many would have laughed and left, but we played for months. It was great. Let's just make a quick PSA. If you hear a woman in your video game and your instinct is to be creepy or sexist or just generally an awful person, you have zero riz and you will probably die alone. I agree. Lonely gamers can be exceptionally desperate. R/girl gamers. My husband plays most games as a female avatar and gets this treatment from players he has never spoken to. It's disturbing. I can be in game with him confirming that he is a man, but men will treat him this way regardless. He took a 4-year break from RuneScape, and when he logged back on, the same dude that used to bother him popped up and started harassing him again. It is absolutely disturbing. All this because my husband likes to put his avatar in fun costumes, and the men believe only girls take the time to do that. The most tragic part about that is that the man couldn't play RuneScape for 4 years. I've never heard even a single girl speak in a game I was playing, and I've always wondered whether that's because they're actually that rare or because they just never end up feeling comfortable speaking when I'm in a game with one. It's absolutely the second one. Yeah, brother, girls just don't feel safe around a lot of men in games, so that's probably it. My girlfriend, 27 female, did the sweetest thing for my brother, 9, and now I know she's the one. My parents moved him to another school towards the end of the school year, and he had trouble making friends. He still invited his whole class to his birthday party that was on Friday, but nobody came. None of the kids. It was really heartbreaking seeing all the empty tables when he was really looking forward to it. My girlfriend of 4 years decided to call her brothers, asking them to come over. Then she took off to go pick up her nephews. They're a little older, but they were still really nice to my brother. She called up her friend friends with kids. It wasn't a ton of people, but it was way more than before. All thanks to her. My little brother was so happy playing in the jumper with her nephews and brothers. They were all playing wrestling with him. He had such a good time. It was nice that everyone came and was being so nice to him, but I'm also just super grateful to my girlfriend because she made it happen. I was watching her that whole time going, wow, I want to marry this woman. She's the one for me. Now I'm literally browsing online for engagement rings. Aw, that's actually really sweet. That's awesome. Your little brother was playing with his future family. I love this. Gave me all the feels. I wish you the best life ever. Make sure you have her back, my bro. Good women can greatly improve every aspect of your life. He does have a point, but it is not a one-way street. It is two, so definitely take care of your girl too. As someone who recently had his 5-year-old not have anyone show up to his birthday party and saw him get crushed, like everyone flaked out, yeah, she not just pulled off something amazing, but may have made a life-changing difference. Now, how are you going to learn what her ring size is, brother? Word of advice, advertisement algorithms latch on to things like wedding rings and hold on for dear life. Use incognito mode when doing searches. I didn't think of it, and immediately afterward, every single targeted ad in all my apps were all about wedding rings, and I was so afraid my girlfriend would see before I had the chance to pop the question. That's actually kind of good advice. I forgot how weirdly predatory algorithms have gotten, so yeah, be careful. Keep her close. Like my friends told me when they met my girlfriend, now wife of 27 years. Don't F it up. She's a good one. I finally talked to my mother about taking my hijab off. I wanted to do this for years, and finally today, I have found the courage to do it. I told my mom that I wear hijab only because I wanted to make her happy, and I actually never wanted it. It made me hate my appearance from the beginning. I have received a completely shocking reaction, to be honest. My mother is really religious, and she really cares about practices of Islam. I always hesitated because I thought she would be so mad and disappointed. I even thought she would reject me as her child. But to my surprise, she was so understanding. She said she was aware that I started wearing hijab too early. I was 11 and a half years old, and she shouldn't have pressured me to wear hijab no matter the age. She said she was suspecting it and always knew it bothered me. She said she's completely okay with taking it off because she always regretted that she allowed me to wear hijab at such a young age. I really wasn't expecting that reaction. I thought our relationship would come to an end and I would lose her. I am really happy and I just wanted to share. That's really sweet. I'm glad that happened for you, and I'm so sorry if I was saying that word wrong. That's lovely. I remember at 18 I wanted to stop going to church, but didn't want to disappoint my mom, so started working on a Sunday instead. Like that was somehow easier than asking her, LOL. I'm sure she also sees it as a sign of respect that you were willing to wear it for her, but guilty because it's not what you want. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how you mom. Honestly, yeah, that's big respect to the mom for not losing it on them just because they didn't want to wear it. Moms know everything. Sounds like you have a great mom. Cherish her. Hijab doesn't define you. I'm sure you are religious and raised well. Your mom knows this. She absolutely does. We both cried while having this conversation. Please stop calling me a creep. I hate this. Ever since high school, girls would call me a creep or that I'm creepy or say ew about me for pretty much no reason at all. I get it. I might not be the most handsome guy in the room, but stop calling me creepy when I'm literally just minding my own business and not even paying any attention to you. I'm sitting there alone eating my lunch and daydreaming. In another language, this creep keeps looking at me. Or being told by friends some girls talked about me being creepy, which caught me off guard because I was just having fun with my friends and having a good time. I didn't even look at or make contact with girls in that moment, and yet I'm a creep? How? I did literally nothing. I can understand not being attractive, but please stop calling guys creeps for no reason. There could be a girl whose existence is not even known to me, and they would call me a creep. I hate it. Also, don't say ew to somebody unless they are actually a disgusting person, please. I don't deserve that. I'm just trying to live my life and go about my day. I almost avoid interacting with girls now because of this. Thanks. I'm very unattractive, and when someone calls me that or says ew, I ignore them because they are a-holes who judge people by their looks, which is very rude. Don't let them call you that. And also, have a nice day, man. I used to have a friend who would come talk to me at my locker as I passed packed up after school. I was slow, so the hallway was usually empty before, during, and after I was there. And it was obvious my friend was there to chat with me. And then one day during class, he gets called to the office and returns and tells me he can't visit me at my locker anymore because another girl claimed she felt stalked by him. Very confused about that still. I had this happen at college. Some girl had a full-on crying freakout/fit because I was standing in the hallway waiting for my class and she thought I was creepy. I don't think I even looked at her. I'm just glad her boyfriend or some white knight didn't attack me because I was waiting for my class. I am kinda ugly, but damn. I'm sure you look fine. Why? You don't have to put yourself down. Nobody's really ugly, you know? DoorDash drivers park near busy restaurants. They have favorite places to park to get orders. This girl that worked in a restaurant called the cops because she said a guy parked by her car every day and didn't get out of the car. She thought he was stalking her. The cop came and he told them he was a DoorDash driver and didn't even know the girl. The cops asked him to park somewhere else anyways. That is a little bit blown out of proportion, but at the same time, he could have just moved his car a couple spaces away. Probably would have been fine. It was me all along. So I recently ordered an expensive computer monitor online. When it finally arrived, I was stoked and immediately set it up. I turned it on, color calibrated it, and everything, and after a few hours of fiddling with the settings, I finally was completely happy. I sit down to try out some games to see how they look on the new screen with the new calibrations, and once a complete white loading screen pops up, I see something extremely scary. There was a big, slightly yellow/brownish spot on the screen that I hadn't noticed until the screen was completely white. I tried everything and could only notice it when the screen was bright white or gray, but on all other colors, it wasn't possible to see at all. I spent days trying to figure it out, and then I called the place I ordered it from to tell them about the problem. While on the phone with them, I moved my head back and forth and realized that I couldn't see the yellowish spot on either side at all. I continue moving my head and realize the spot changes on the screen when I move my head. I move in closer and the spot gets even bigger, and it was in this moment I realized it was just my face being reflected in the screen when it was completely white and bright. Thank you for listening. That had to be a very embarrassing phone call to end because you realized it midway and you're like, actually, I think everything's good. Bye. I was on the edge of my seat through the whole story. Bravo. This is funny. The other day I was watching Netflix on my phone and got really upset because I couldn't find my phone. I kept looking for it around my room the whole while watching a streaming show on it. After 5 minutes, it occurred to me I was an idiot. Look, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes you're just in autopilot. Towards the end, I thought you had some sort of serious eye problem like cataracts, IDK, or something, LMAO. You absolute bellend.
What does bellend mean? Sounds like a cool insult.
It refers to the glands or tip of the male organ. Which organ? Men have quite a few of those, and women too. My husband admitted to his friend that he didn't find me beautiful. Nothing feels the same anymore. I'm newly married. After our honeymoon, my husband had a group video call with his best friends. After I said hello and chatted for a bit with them, I excused myself to go for a walk. I decided I needed to get my raincoat because it looked like it was about to rain, but my husband and his friends thought I've already got out. They started interrogation about our honeymoon, and they were all teasing and laughing until one of his best friends asked him if my looks were still an issue for him. My husband told her that he loved me and that we had a great honeymoon and that I'm beautiful on the inside, and he said, "You can't have it all." She insisted on wondering whether he felt he downgraded from his ex-girlfriend, and he said, "Maybe, but she, me, makes me happy." Another friend then interjected and said I wasn't bad looking if I lost some weight. My husband agreed. Nothing feels the same anymore. I always knew I wasn't beautiful, but I thought that he liked how I looked, or at least didn't mind it so much. I know he values my other qualities and that he loves me and is very kind to me, but I don't feel good with him, and I haven't been happy since that day, 5 weeks ago. I have lost weight under these weeks, and he's paid a lot of compliments about that, but I don't want him commenting anything about my physical appearance anymore. I hate every encouraging word he has to say, and yet I feel like I need to be more appealing to him. I feel so much hurt, it's insane. Am I the only one who gets a very bad impression of the female friend who keeps insisting on wondering whether he felt he downgraded from his ex-girlfriend? It feels very odd that she was the one to bring up your looks in the first place, as well as to bring up his past relationship and compare it to the woman he chose to spend the rest of his life with. Just a thought. Homewrecker red flags from that one. Yeah, that's very just weird behavior in general. Don't do that if you're somebody's friend. You should tell him what you heard. Don't shoulder this hurt alone. He should feel bad too. At the end of the day, honesty is key, so at least try to bring it up. I would never feel comfortable being around those people again after that. I am so sorry for you. I really feel you. Been in a very similar situation. There is not much I can suggest, but you should do everything that makes you feel beautiful. At the end of the day, your opinion is the only one that's important. Did you leave? Yes, that's my plan now, to love myself and my appearance enough for both of us. No, I didn't. At the end of the day, I love him and he loves me. We have a good marriage. I know I will never be beautiful or have a good-looking, healthy, and skinny body, but I prefer beauty on the inside anyway. Talk to him about this. See what happens. I'm not married, but I've been with significant other for coming on to 4 years. I can't imagine not speaking about something like this, especially for 5 weeks. I was a bit embarrassed, TBH, and since I didn't make my presence known for them, it felt like eavesdropping, and I was embarrassed even more. Girl, the only way you'll be able to move past this is if you tell your husband everything you feel. Stop acting shy. Stop throwing yourself a pity party. Communication is the key to either healing a wound or finding the best solution to a problem. Good luck! P.S. Tell your husband he's not exactly Chris Hemsworth either. I pretend I'm an influencer, so I'll do basic chores. For the past 3 months, I've been pretending to be an influencer. I tend to go through serious bouts of depression. I won't shower or eat. I just lay in bed and rot. However, I've recently discovered that if I record myself and pretend I'm talking to an audience, I'm able to motivate myself to get ready and go to work. This also goes for my chores. I'll do a time-lapse video of myself doing the dishes, laundry, and everything else that I'll need to do. I don't post these videos anywhere, and I don't show these videos to anyone. They're just really fun to look back on, and it makes me happy to see that I've accomplished things while feeling this crappy about life. You know, I wasn't fully on board at the start there, but it's fine. That seems wholesome enough. Whatever gets you going, gets you going. You can't really stop it. This is brilliant! I used to wear a tiara with little shiny crystals on it when I did housework. I didn't know where it went. Maybe I should get another one. I'm currently laying in bed, rotting away with depression. This is a great idea. I'll have to try this. Thanks for sharing. One of the most effective ways to be, well, effective is to put on a mask. Your mask is an influencer. Glad it works for you. Keep it up.
I want to do this too.
Well, have no fear. You can. Just start recording yourself and be sure you don't accidentally upload it. Unless you want to. I mean, it's up to you. I do this too. Pretend I'm doing a tutorial or explaining a day in my life, etc., etc. You are body doubling. It's super helpful. I'm gonna have to Google what body doubling means because I have no idea. When I was a kid, I would pretend to be Cinderella working to go to the ball. It at least made cleaning my room more fun. I don't know if Cinderella in that phase of her life is the best example to use, but I mean, if whatever works, whatever works. I get up at 3 a.m. every weekday to work out on the beach. This morning, I couldn't. I had to stop, sit, and witness a miracle. I've been on an unstoppable weight loss journey this year. I work a demanding healthcare job, so working out at 3 a.m. is the only time that works for me. I was super excited this morning after weighing myself because I've officially lost 38 pounds since February. I put on my weighted vest and hit the beach with renewed motivation. About a mile into my slog over the sand dunes, I came across a fresh sea turtle trail. Very common this time of year, so I smiled and did my little personal tradition of hopping over it. Except I noted that there was no exit trail. Usually you see a trail where mama came out of the ocean, found a spot to nest, and then crawled back to the ocean. Sometimes they leave the same way, but there's usually at least a trail where they turned around. The moon was bright enough that I saw her dark outline against the white sand. I've been walking my beach for 5 years, and I have never seen a nesting mother. I've seen 2 hatchlings on the beach and 1 adult foraging on the reef while I was snorkeling, but never a nesting mother. They are always done before I wake up. My motivation to exercise was gone. I just sat down and watched her silhouette in the moonlight. She was enormous, at least 3 feet long and God knows how heavy. She moved so slowly. The sheer effort of the nesting process must have been more difficult than anything I've ever done in my life. Running over sand dunes in my weight vest suddenly seemed like a paltry effort in comparison. The reason I'm sharing on this sub is because my old phone couldn't take a picture, even in bright moonlight. Without a flash, that would have startled the mother. In the age of pictures or it didn't happen, I just had to tell someone about my spiritual experience. IMHO, the point of working out is to have a better and happier life. Can't imagine the benefit of 1 day of exercising would outweigh the lifelong memory of this. Yes, you made the right call. That's the universe rewarding you for your dedication. That's a pretty sweet reward. I wish the universe would give me something kind of cool like that. A moment made just for you and that mama turtle, and you share it with us? Thank you. And congrats on your weight loss. Hashtag beast mode. I felt disgusting saying that last... don't fret over not having a video. Your description was rich enough and my imagination filled in the details. Sometimes the story is better than a picture, especially for setting the context and your emotional reaction. My 6'4" fiance is the little spoon every night. My fiance is the little spoon. He goes to work every day to pay the mortgage for the home he bought for us to start our lives and our family in while I go to school. He takes out the trash on the cold, rainy nights so I can stay warm and dry. He is always there when I start to cry to hold and comfort me, but he hides his tears because he's not supposed to cry. He grew up in a very traditional household with very strict gender roles, and he has had a hard time expressing his stresses and anxieties. In the last 6 months, we have moved out, bought a house, and planned a wedding at 20 years old. At night, we get in bed, and I've found the only way I can truly comfort him is by holding him and not asking questions until he's ready to talk about things. Take emotional care of the men in your life. They take care of you in a lot of ways. Aw, that's actually really sweet. I want to be the little spoon. Wow, this is truly beautiful. I really wish you and your fiance a long and happy marriage. Male here. I love being the little spoon. Everybody needs to be held sometimes, and gosh dang it, I love being held. You're a great partner for supporting your partner the way you do. I've been with my lady for almost 20 years, and I'm totally the little spoon, LOL. Sometimes I don't want to be the big bad man anymore. Thank you for being a wholesome rock for your hunk of love. I'm crying. I'm Big Spoon too, to the hairiest man I've ever known. It's comforting for the both of us. I loved reading this. I am 4'11". My husband is 6'3", and I love spooning him. I feel like an emotionally supportive backpack. Oh my god, that is probably my favorite new sentence. Emotionally supportive backpack? Come on. You know what? I think I'm gonna run to the kitchen and get me a big spoon. So unfortunately, I gotta go. Thank you all once again for watching. My name is Brandon, and I will talk in your head another day.